Aaliyah was 15 years old when she allegedly married R. Kelly. Where was her parents? Allegedly, but I know what my eyes saw. Shout out to Wendy, man. I have always looked at Diddy. I don't know. There has always been something about him that's just like, I don't know, something not right. What's going on, guys and gals? It's your boy Guy, and today I'm discussing a lawsuit that was just amended on Sunday that now names Jay-Z as a defendant. This was a case that was filed back in October against Diddy that has now since Sunday been amended and now as Jay-Z. This case is about a young girl who was 13 years old, who was essayed nearly 2 decades ago. It's alleged that there were 2 men and a woman involved. They named Jay-Z and they named Diddy, and now everyone's speculating, trying to allege that it's J-Lo who was the woman. But I feel as though none of these people, she hasn't been named, so stop speculating. Get out of her DMs and her comments, Beyonce's as well, and let the justice system play out how it may. If they are charged, at that point you can throw stones, but until then, these people are innocent until proven guilty. Now, the first thing I want to say about this case: where the fuck were her parents? If this girl was 13-year-old, how is it that these kids keep getting into proximity of these creeps who you all may have ideas of doing things like this or have heard stories of things like that? Why would you want your kids around? Like, these parents need to start taking responsibility and also need to be charged in a lot of these cases, especially when the child is underage. Because for me, I think of Aaliyah. Aaliyah was 15 years old when she allegedly married R. Kelly. Where was her parents? And again, a lot of these people are in a way selling off their kids for fame, for money, for success, and don't care about that, the mental of the child. It's about what the parent can benefit from. Because even when I think about Kiki talking about how people in the industry wanted to take her away, she talked about this in her interview on Club Shay Shay, how there were people in the industry who were trying to take her away from her parents and turn her parents against each other. And her parents stood 10 toes down, as well as she did for her family, to make sure that nobody was, doing anything to their child. Because when you look at a lot of these child stars, many of them are messed up now, whether they're on drugs or have committed the S word. And yeah, I feel as though it's sad, and these parents need to take responsibility. You need to, for negligence, because you either need to watch your children better or watch who your children are around. And for this girl being 13, what was she doing at an award show unsupervised? And how did she end up with Jay-Z allegedly and Diddy? It doesn't make sense to me. Again, it could, and if their evidence comes out that this was true, I feel as though the parents need to be arrested. Her parents, I don't care how old they are. If Jay-Z is getting arrested and Diddy's going to be arrested, even though Diddy has a slew of other stuff that he needs to worry about, but if Jay-Z is arrested for this, the parents need to be arrested as well, because why was your child with them? That doesn't make sense to me. Just like I said for R. Kelly and Aaliyah, why was Aaliyah with R. Kelly? Hello? And I know people are now trying to bring up that Jay-Z met Beyonce when she was 17 or whatever the case may be, and that's but that's the story I've heard, is that that's when they met. I'm not sure if they dated or not when she was 17. Again, I don't know that to be true as a fact. If it is true and she was underage at the time, again, that's not okay. But I know they both have denied it, and they could have denied it because they didn't want any parts of just that in general, or the backlash, whatever the case may be. But yeah, I can't cast judgment on that because they both have denied it, and there has not been anything that has come out that said that they were romantically involved during that time. Now, with this case, everybody wants to say like Jaguar, right? Tried to tell us she been saying Jay-Z with Diddy because they are friends, and they run in the same circles, and so on and so on. Now, I look at Jay-Z and Diddy in two different ways. When I think of Diddy, I have always looked at Diddy. I don't know. There has always been something about him that's just like, I don't know, something not right. Even when I think about watching Making the Band back in the day, and he sent them to go and get the cheesecake across the bridge. And I know that's a form of like hazing to try to, show how tough you are if you really want it or whatever the case may be. But I don't know, there was just something that just never sat right with me. And he just had an arrogance about himself that, I don't know. Like, I enjoy his music. We ain't going nowhere. Like, I used to vibe to his music and all that. But last night didn't even. But for me, he is always, even like when I think about Biggie's death and people around him's death, like, I don't know if he was involved or not. This is all allegedly. You all have eyes too. What did Wendy say? Wendy Williams said something about like allegedly. Oh, allegedly. But I know what my eyes saw. Shout out to Wendy, man. That situation's sad too. But Wendy would have had a field day. Do you hear me? If Wendy Williams was around, she would have a field day with this information. But she wouldn't let their hair go. Like, Wendy, get off of their neck, please. But yeah, I've always looked at Diddy like with a side eye that it's just like, I don't know. But Jay-Z is somebody who I've always respected, and I love his music. Song Cry is one of my favorite songs. Shout out to all of the Blueprint. Shout out to 444. That was my album as well. Yeah, it just don't sit right with me. I feel like he's done a lot for the culture. I feel like he's done a lot for the Black community and standing up for us in different aspects. And I am not willing just to tear him down and just cast stones that have not been actualized, because like I said, this is all alleged. This is something that now he's being named, but he hasn't been charged with anything, and I'm just letting the justice system play out, and he's innocent until proven guilty. Now, people say, well, if Diddy did X, Y, and Z, who's to say that he didn't do it? I'm not saying that he didn't do it. I don't know that to be true. I don't know if it's not true, but I'm not going to be a person who is just going to easily just say, okay, with no type of proof or evidence, am I going to, excommunicate you? Because there, especially in the age of like city girls and stuff like that, I do feel as though there are people, and more often than not, people are truthful, but there are people who lie. There are men who have been lied on, who whether it is out of spite or because they turned somebody down or may have turned down a sexual action with somebody. I feel as though it's easy to, especially when it comes to celebrities, people are always out to these money grabs. So sometimes I like to just see where the chips fall before I cast judgment. And again, I'm not saying that this young lady is lying. She may be telling the truth, but for me, until Jay-Z is innocent until proven guilty. And then when I hear people say that they're never going to listen to his music again, he hasn't been charged with anything. I'm going to still listen to Song Cry. I'm still going to listen to 444. And for me, I kind of tuggle with, how to deal with the artist versus their art. Now, I wasn't like the biggest Cosby fan. I knew what the Cosby was. I was more of the era of like Family Matters and Martin and stuff like that. But I've always had respect for the Cosbys. But if that was a show that I enjoyed, am I to stop watching it because Cosby's in it? There were other actors in it. So, and who's to say that I watched it for Bill Cosby? Maybe I watched it for the family dynamic. But that doesn't, just because I watch it, don't mean that I feel as though it's okay that he essayed somebody. The same with R. Kelly. I feel as though he made a lot of good songs. And I Believe I Can Fly, I feel like that was every school was singing that during some type of graduation or something. And I know now we don't listen to it, but I think that a lot of people still listen to his music, and a lot of people's art behind closed doors, or in a more intimate settings, because they don't want to be judged for listening to him, or different people who've been accused of things. But nothing's stopping a lot of these people from watching Harvey Weinstein movies and some of these other directors, and stopping people from watching Nickelodeon, which we know that they took advantage, not Nickelodeon itself. This is all alleged. But in that behind the scenes documentary, we've seen what happened to a lot of these child stars, and people are still watching Nickelodeon. So I don't know. It's how do you separate the art from the artist or the company or whatever the case may be? And then another thing, mentioning Diddy and R. Kelly, they were very arrogant. From R. Kelly allegedly marrying Aaliyah to him, is about age not being nothing but a number. It's just, I don't know, a lot of his stuff was just very flamboyant and out there, and very in an arrogant way, where he didn't care, as though he felt he wouldn't be touched. And I feel like Diddy was kind of like that too, where he would say stuff in interviews, or on one of his shows, like any of his shows, and so it would be things that people may laugh off, but he may be serious about it. But people like, no, that couldn't be true. Yeah, it's true. And I think that they were very arrogant and felt like they had power and authority and money, and felt they would never get caught. So that's why also Jay-Z, I feel like he doesn't move that way. I feel like he's very private, very quiet, very, professional about how he carries himself. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to believe. I don't know what is or isn't true. But again, I'm gonna wait until the chips fall where they may, and I'll cross that bridge, once he is either convicted or he walks away innocent, free man. But I am glad that his lawyers are trying to expedite the situation, and like, well, yeah, let's have this go to trial. Let's get this done, because these type of allegations, when they're put on someone, that ruins brand deals. Like, people don't want to be involved with that. People don't want you to weigh down their brand or their company or whatever the case may be. And so I am glad that they're trying to expedite it, because this is something that now he has to explain to his kids, like, because it's playing out in real time. And I don't know. Like, I don't know Diddy's kids. I don't know how they're raised. But I'm sure that they have seen stuff that they probably shouldn't. I feel as though Blue Ivy and Beyonce and Jay-Z's children are very sheltered, in a way that I'm sure that Beyonce don't let them get close to anything, even if it's Jay-Z whooping somebody in the studio, like whooping somebody's ass in the studio. And again, this is alleged. I don't know if he's ever done that or not, but I can see it happening. Him whooping somebody's ass in the studio or not. I can see Diddy having his kids in the studio and him whooping somebody's ass, like, you see, this is how you handle shit. You don't let motherfuckers talk to you any kind of way. Like, I could see him like that. I don't see Jay-Z and Beyonce handling their kids that way. So I did see that allegedly these people don't know. People just talk just to talk. I'm probably just talking just to talk too, but people are saying that Beyonce's having a conversation with Jay-Z about how to talk to the kids about the allegations and everything like that, which may be true, because I could see parents wanting to, because especially Blue Ivy having access to the internet and having friends who have access to the internet, and especially with her being the movie Mufasa now, that is a conversation that may need to be brought up to her, so that she isn't sideswiped by her friends bringing it up to her or trying to show her article. And you always got those hating friends who act like they're your friends, but really they're jealous of you, especially like I'm sure a lot of celebrities have, because people want that fame and that fortune. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm just waiting to see how it all plays out. But I want you to tell me down in the comments, do you think that there is some merit to these claims? Do you think that Jay-Z did do it? Do you think that this is just a money grab? Yeah, and if he is charged, will you still listen to his music? Should you, or can you separate artists from their art? Let me know down in the comment. I would love to have a conversation about that. So I do appreciate you all for continuing to watch my videos. If you haven't watched my previous videos, please dive into the catalog of videos I have posted, and hopefully you find something that you may be interested in. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. And as always, peace, love, blessings, and I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. Bye.